Hi there, my name is Chantal. I hope you're doing well today. In 2022, I took part in Inktober, but I kind of feel like I missed out on Peachtober. So I had the crazy idea of trying to use all of the Peachtober 2022 prompts for one painting. I'm going to be combining all of the prompts into one piece of art, and I have no plan, but I thought we could figure it out together. Okay, I might just have a quick go through and then try and come up with some ideas. Cave, the location. Dandelion, cowboy, tiger. Bow, trees, potion, mask, boulder, lantern, field, lava, tail, town, shell, trunk, snow, wing, boot, spaceship, barn, globe, sprout, castle, robot, land, sea, plant, whale, pet, sleepy. Ugh. What am I doing? There's quite a few for if we're trying to create a landscape. If we're going for like the background, we can try and add all of those things in, and then we've got a few random ones. For sprout and plant, we could put them both together somewhere as like a tiny little plant that's kind of growing. What else do we have? Oh, we have spaceship. Okay, so we could do the entire thing on a globe, but then would that give us enough space? It's just a bit awkward doing it from like an aerial view, I think, unless it's not an aerial view, unless it kind of comes to life. That'd be snow. I'm just like spitballing here really, like what do I think of? Somewhere I need to fit a cowboy, but it doesn't have to be an entire cowboy. It could just be like a hat or something to represent it. The problem is I don't want to just add those things, I want to make it fit somehow. I think this is going to be kind of crazy if I'm honest. There's a cowboy and their pet tiger looking at this world and the mess that's going on. This is a really rough sketch, by the way. I just want to make sure I kind of got the ideas down. Then we've got them looking at the planet. And then the person with the boots. So these are the two options, I think. That is better. That kind of includes it. So basically we use this as an idea to get more ideas, but this one definitely fits a lot better being just in that scenario. Mask is still, I'm unsure, but that fits all of those in, I think. I'm not saying it's good, but I think it's more subtle. I might go with this thumbnail. Okay, there's been a few changes, so let me get you up to speed. Last time we were working on this, and I've kept a lot of the ideas, but it has been changed. I think this idea, subtle is not the right word, but I mean that's not subtle what we're trying to do here. So then I did this little thumbnail, didn't I, where I was trying to put it onto a piece. So then I finalized it and came up with this one. I like the idea of the border being there, obviously, because it's Fairy Little Peach's thing, but I felt like it was too cluttered. So I got my boyfriend's help and we tried to make it look a little bit more subtle. And we've come up with this. So it's going to be landscape. There's a cowgirl with a tiger, volcano, spaceship, and then the land. So it's a little bit more subtle. I mean, this one has so much going on, it's definitely more subtle than that. I think it's definitely an improvement on this, so let me show you what the sketch is looking like. It is big. It's bigger than A4, this paper. It's the biggest one that I've got. Looking at it now, I'm not sure it really needs to be that big, but I think the face and the tiger would be very difficult if it was smaller than this. We've got the border around the edge. The person and the tiger are here. I have no clue how exactly I'm going to do that. And this is the rough sketch. So I think we're going to begin with the sky. Blending into the tree. The tree's going to be quite fluffy, and then we're just going to blend it into the sea, and then I'm going to work from there. I haven't got a plan past that. This is Arches paper, so I mean the original pencil lines haven't rubbed off very well. Also, I know the colours are going to be really quite vibrant, and it's going to be difficult to lift, so I'm going to do it really, really light, and then just build up the layers. I think in general, it's going to be quite blurry. I'm not going to go hyper detailed. Like, these hills are going to be pretty much just green, maybe with a little bit of wet on wet. Most of it will probably be wet on wet. I haven't done the border. I think the border's going to be last. I'm just going to have to try and avoid it and just go at it really gently. That's kind of the plan that I've got. Let's get started.
Euphoric delay, only you and me. Pour your honey, sickly sweet, keeps me coming, got me weak. You could kill me, I'd still be dialing your number 6 feet deep. Oh, it's real hard to break this habit. It's like I want you 24/7. When I'm without you, boy, I feel sick. Think you work better than my prescriptions. Nothing feels as good as you do. If you ever leave, I'll be real sad. Let's both hope that it don't get so bad. Pour your honey, sickly sweet, keeps me coming, got me weak. You could kill me, I'd still be dialing your number 6 feet deep. Oh, it's real hard to break this habit. It's like I want you 24/7. When I'm without you, boy, I feel sick. Think you work better than my prescriptions. Better than my prescriptions. Better than my prescription. Everything goes white. I can feel the
I tried to approach this challenge in a really practical way, just taking each prompt one step at a time and doing the first thing that came to my mind. That's generally how I do all of these challenges, is I just look through the prompt list and think about the first thing that pops into my head. But I'm not really sure I approached it the right way for this one. I think a lot of this challenge, which is really quite difficult, trying to fit 31 prompts in one piece of art and make it look actually normal. I was really just hoping that I would be able to come up with good ideas on the spot, and I do think some of the ideas are good, but there were a lot of really difficult prompts that I hadn't factored in. Things like spaceship and robot. Like, how can I stick spaceship and robot into this piece of art and actually make it look decent, like they're meant to be there for a purpose? I also really struggled with mask, bow and shell. I think they were the hardest ones, and I really struggled to come up with something that actually told a story, because the story, it's kind of crazy. The original ideas were very complex and cluttered. They had so much going on, and I think they would have taken about a week for me to paint. One of the ways that I approached this piece by simplifying it was to try and link some of the prompts together. So for example, the tiger came about because, tiger was a prompt. And then there was also pet, tail and sleepy, and I felt like I could link them all together quite easily. There was also cowboy and boots, which obviously went together quite nicely. And if I had put all of these prompts as completely separate ideas, which is what I'd done at the beginning, it would have looked absolutely crazy and cluttered, and it would have been obvious that I was just doing 31 different things, which is kind of what I wanted to avoid with this piece. Starting day 3 now, and my only real plan was to get this finished. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do and how I was going to fix this, but I knew that I wanted to get it finished. I tried adding some details here and there, but the biggest challenge was the tiger. Now, I wasn't sure about the tiger to begin with. I've never drawn a tiger before. I had no clue what I was doing. I had a reference photo, but the rough sketch that I started with, that was very rough. I had done it quickly. I didn't have time to refine it, unfortunately. I just kind of put down the blob of where the tiger was going to go, and one thing I had not considered is that the person and the tiger, like where they meet, it looks like the person is just kind of resting on the tiger. That was not intentional at all, and I didn't really know what to do from there. I tried adding shadow where I thought shadow would be, but unfortunately where the tiger's leg is, it really just looks like the person's kind of standing on the tiger. Obviously, it was essential that I did the frame around the outside. That was completely inspired by Fairy Little Peach as a little tribute. I've never done it before, and I love that I was able to include every single one of the prompts in this way. I feel like it really ties the entire piece together, and it shows what I was trying to do with this piece. The real question with this artwork is, have I successfully created a piece of art inspired by all of the 31 Peachtober 2022 prompts that actually looks good? I'm going to show you the finished piece now and then pop it on the screen with the prompts, so feel free to pause if you'd like to try and spot them yourself. Did you get them right? Let's find out. Cave, dandelion, cowboy/girl, tiger, bow, trees, potion, mask, boulder, lantern, field, lava, tail, town, snail shell, tree trunk, snow, wing, boot, spaceship, bun. They're on a globe. I know that's a very loose one. Sprout, castle, robot, land, sea, plant, whale, pet, sleepy. Did you spot them all? Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you for coming along with me on this little challenge. I am actually going to be taking part in my very first Peachtober in October, so make sure you're subscribed if you don't want to miss that. I'll see you on Sunday for another video. Bye bye.